learned of the demise of Papa Lala on the 19th of October. Surprised, but again not too surprised, knowing that no one is here forever. I want to thank God for the life of Papa, who I met a couple of years back through his son Olumide. Papa, the first time I met him, I thought when I learned of his age, I was surprised that an old man like that could look so young and so full of life. He had his shorts and he had his shirt, and he was so full of life, and he was the English-speaking grandpa. He was really, really warm. I actually tease Olumide a lot of times that what went wrong with you? See Papa looking so young and so youthful, and his psyche and everything, but God is faithful. Thank God that he lived a long life, which is a blessing from God. I pray that the Lord will grace us with such blessings in Jesus' mighty name. Papa, you have done well. You've come, you conquered, and now the Lord has called you home at a ripe old age. May you continue to rest in peace, and may the hope that you have left all your children, your grandchildren, may they live long as well, and there will always be peace in Jesus' name. Sleep on, Papa.
Sometimes there aren't just enough words to express a deep sense of loss, and this is one of those times. Mr. Lala Senior's passing has been such a deep blow for us, for the Arroyo families. We, as a family, myself, my siblings, my dad and mom, we've been so close. Our families at Arroyo and Lala we've been together since 1973. When we first met, living across the road, from Oglana Drive to Ayinde Street, where we were just across the road from you, and we known each other since then. And your dad, Mr. Lala, has been effectively like my second dad. Uncle Lala, every single one of us, he touched each and every one of us one way or the other. He got most of us jobs at UVA, it's massive. Your dad was just like the kind of man who always looked on the bright side of life. He never had a downward attitude. He always said, yeah, you can do it, go ahead, give it a try. Very motivated, very pragmatic. The kind of guy who you just want to have in your corner. That's him. I thank God that I knew him. I thank God because he touched each and every one. He's touched so many people. It's like so many things he's done. And it's so sad that it's sad, it's difficult, words, still struggling. I thought I was over it. I thought I could actually just come out and say how I feel. I pray that the Lord continues to bless the three of you. Bingo, you, Andy, Lulu. My brothers and sisters, every single one of us, from my eldest siblings, my youngest, their hearts are with you. My dad and mom, our hearts are with you in this time, this very difficult time that you're in. We pray that He continues to give you strength and gives you the fortitude to be able to deal with this loss. I think I have not much more to say. I don't have the words. It's not something I can comprehend. I still have it. It hasn't sunk in, but I'm here for you. God bless you.
Right. I would say dads are someone to look up to, someone to follow, someone to admire. someone to learn from, someone to respect, someone to listen to, someone to talk to, and most of all, with whom to share everything this wonderful life has to offer. I'm so incredibly grateful and happy to have shared with Daddy Lala this and much more. Happy, memorable moments. To say he was a noble man would be an understatement. And to say I'm going to miss him would be an even greater understatement. I cannot begin to imagine traveling to Nigeria and knowing that Daddy Lala is no longer there to speak with. In his graceful manner, he was always there to assist, coordinating my pickup from the airport, making sure my stay in Lagos was a memorable one, however short or long it was. I do also remember the weekends when we had quiet times together, reminiscing about Nigeria during the 70s and praying the good Lord transforms the nation to its glory days. When Daddy Lala was compassionate towards everyone and deserved the rich life that he enjoyed. I learned a great deal from him. His attention to detail and perfectionism was infectious. I remember one time we were going through a car repairs expense, and Daddy Lala brought out his book of accounts to check the finest details of the costs of each component. I was quite impressed at his level of detail, and this was one of the attributes I actually gained from him. That is, Lala's kindness and generosity will be remembered by all who had the pleasure of knowing him, and I know he has gone to a better place, and may the good Lord grant him eternal rest. Baba Esunreo. Amen.
Hey, Olumide, Yewande, Benga. This is Remy here, Remy Okeshola, a good friend of your brothers, Olumide Lala. I just want to give a tribute to your dad, a man who I hugely admired, an icon and a connector. And when I say connector, I don't mean connecting people with each other. I'm talking about a personal connector, somebody who could connect with you as an individual, somebody who connected with me as an individual. I remember some years back when I came to Nigeria again for my grandmother's funeral. I live down the road from you guys, a stone throw, just off Olatilera on Ajose Street. But the house was full with relatives, and I couldn't stay there. I just couldn't sleep there. There was no room unless I was going to sleep on the floor or something. I was welcome, of course, with open hands into your home, and I spent a week there. I didn't even have any clothes because, unfortunately, my clothes didn't arrive with me. Typical. So I was wearing Olumide's clothes for that whole week as well. And each morning when I woke up, your dad would insist on me having breakfast. And I'm like, I'm not a breakfast guy. I don't really do breakfast. But he was insistent. He would tell Emmanuel, make sure he has breakfast. He was such a connector that we would sit on the balcony, what I like to call the veranda. That reminds me of an African, way of putting it. The balcony. He would sit on the balcony with his newspaper. I would come upstairs, sometimes, and we'd be chatting away, and he could just connect with you. He really knew the meaning of having, one mouth and two ears. He would listen to what you're saying, hear what you're saying, and give you an answer or some guidance or advice or make a comment that you'd be saying, wow, okay, where did that come from? He was an icon in that respect, and I really will miss a man like that as a mentor, a distant and silent mentor in my life. You guys had a great dad, and I appreciate him. Just one last comment was, I was coming back during this same period from the island with Olumide. This was around about 11:30. The man was not asleep when we got home. He opened the gate for us. He opened the gate for the car to go in and park. He was awake. He waited for us. I mean, I'm like, how many dads do that for their son and his friend? I admire you. I wish I could be saying this to you personally, but I have said it a number of times to your son, Olumide. I just want to say we miss you. You're a great connector. You're an icon. You're somebody who mentors us from afar, and so many people like us, like Mark and Sam, some of Olumide's other friends. We admire you. I want to say thank you, Olumide, Yewande, and Gbenga, for letting us share in your dad's time as well. God bless you guys. See you soon, some other time. Goodbye.
Uncle was someone who was larger than life and someone who was always full of life. And it's not just me who thought that. Everyone I've spoken to has said the same thing. And then he was also ageless. I remember Uncle Olumide telling me about how he went clubbing with his dad during a holiday to the US, and all the girls ended up hitting on his dad, who they mistook as his older brother. But maybe that's a story for another day. There are, two things I really enjoyed about Uncle. First were the long chats that, we used to have when I'd come and see him in Surulere. In fact, since moving away from Lagos, that's one of the things that I really miss, just, seeing him in person and chatting with him. And then the second thing was that, each year, unfailingly, he would be the first one to call me on my birthday. I will really miss those things, and more importantly, I will really miss Uncle. Rest well.